What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the redesigned Motorola RAZR from 2020, the folding phone. This was one of the earlier folding phones from memory, but I remember when this thing came out, I was actually really interested in it because anyone who knows me knows that I was very, very enthusiastic about Motorola RAZRs back when I was a kid. It was one of my first cell phones. As a matter of fact, this RAZR 2 right here, not the specific one, but it's the same model. This was one of my first cell phones. So I remember having this when I was, 12, 13, I would say, and I really, really loved it. Unfortunately, this one got broken. I actually washed it, I think, or something like that. And so I ended up just getting a regular RAZR V3, just like this one. This one's in pretty rough shape. I actually have 5 of these sitting on my shelf, but I just kind of grabbed one for demonstration purposes. But had this for a little bit. This was actually my phone when I first started this YouTube channel back in 2010. And I used this and an iPod Touch, I believe, later, up until I got an iPhone 4, which was my first smartphone. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm very partial to the original Motorola RAZR. It was kind of the iPhone before the iPhone. And so when I saw they came out with this back in 2020, I was actually really intrigued by it. Now, unfortunately, this phone was about $1,200 back then. And, from the reviews, it was cool. It's a RAZR throwback. It has very similar design language to the original. Obviously, it's a lot wider, but it has kind of the same chin at the bottom. It's got a very similar hinge design, and even the buttons are very similar on the side. So they really did a lot to kind of make it look like an old RAZR, which I thought was cool. But like I said, this phone was very expensive when it came out, and it had mid-range specs and whatnot. So I obviously wasn't going to drop $1,200 on a phone like that. But now, in 2023, I actually found this one on eBay for $130. So I decided to jump on it. I figured this is definitely a phone that I would like to have in my collection. So here it is. Like I said, very similar design language to the original RAZR. We have this chin at the bottom. I believe this is actually a fingerprint sensor here. And so that's kind of neat. We have a camera here with the flash, and then it looks like some other sensors here and a microphone. But yeah, there is a display here, which you guys will see in just a moment. But going up here, you can see we have our hinge design. It actually has gears in there for the folding screen, which you'll see in a moment. We have a USB-C port on the bottom here for charging. And then on the back, you can see we have the Motorola and the RAZR logo, kind of similar to the original here. So pretty cool. It's got this like textured plastic back to it, but pretty solid feeling phone, I gotta say. So we'll go ahead and open it up and I'll show you guys that. So like I mentioned before, this is a folding phone, and yeah, there is that pattern on the screen. These folding phones really don't age well, unfortunately, but like I said, I paid so little for this one, I really don't care. And it is fully functional, just it kind of looks like that for whatever reason. But yeah, like I said, folding screen. These screens are plastic, I believe, or very, some variation of that, but there you have it. Up here we have an earpiece and a camera, and then a little gap. I believe the screen does actually move a little bit when you fold it, but as you can see, I can fold it halfway there, and you can see it is indeed a folding screen. I will go ahead and power up the phone, I guess, for my next trick. So there you have it. And the phone does sit almost completely flat. It's not, maybe it is, I guess, but anyway, there you have it. There is a crease in the middle of the screen that you can feel. I mean, you can see it in the video there, but, and honestly, that's kind of one of the reasons I don't really like these folding phones all that much. I mean, like I said, this phone was cheap, and it's kind of nostalgic for me because it's a throwback to one of my favorite cell phones of yesteryear, but I can't say I would actually purchase a folding phone and use it. I don't think this thing would stand up to, being used as a primary device. But as you can see, there you have it. I wonder if I can go ahead and back the camera out just a little bit here so we can get a little bit of a better look at it. So there you have it. Like I said, it's a full screen folding device, just like I've mentioned before. It is running Android 11. I believe that is the latest supported version. But, Motorola phones are cool because the Android skins that they put on there are very minimal. I mean, this is a near stock experience, so that's kind of cool. But let's go ahead and pop into the settings here. I'll go ahead and go down to About Phone here, and then you can see obviously this is the Motorola RAZR, and then it is Android 11 like I mentioned before. Now this phone I believe does have pretty mid-range specs. Let's go ahead and hop into CPU-Z here and we can take a look at that. So we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 710 at 2.2 gigahertz here. It is an 8-core SoC, but like I said, I believe this is more of a mid-range chip, or at least was back in 2020. So, you know, not really high-end specs here, and especially for $1,200, I kind of found that a little bit disappointing. But for $130, I'm not complaining at all. So there you have it. We do have 6 gigabytes of RAM with this SoC, so that's, you know, decent, not too bad. And then 128 gigs of internal storage, so not terrible. So there you have it. And one of the cool tricks this phone has up its sleeve for the people who are nostalgic about this is if we go up here and we go into the quick actions menu. Now this actually has to be enabled. It's kind of hidden by default, but you'll see something here that says Retro RAZR. And if I push that and open it, you can see it's a retro reboot of the original RAZR. And you can see it actually makes the noises. So, I mean, pretty cool. And it's actually a little bit functional. So if I hit this,
hello, Moto.
and then, you know, I can dial numbers with it. And it comes up in the OG RAZR, you know, operating system look there. So that's pretty cool. And then I believe if I actually hit these, it'll actually take you to those screens. And then I can hit it back. You know, I can go to contacts, I believe is that one. So that's probably not a good idea to show. I guess I'll have to edit that out. But yeah, you know, Bluetooth settings. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's not really like useful, I guess, but it is pretty cool to look at the retro RAZR UI on this new phone. And then if we want to get out of it, I believe we just, yeah, swipe up like that. So that's pretty neat. Other than that, I haven't really done anything else with this phone. I literally just bought it just to have it in my collection, but there you have it. If I close it here, you might be able to tell we do have a screen on the outside here. And then I believe if we tap it or something, we can, yeah, then we can look at a couple of things there. They have like app shortcuts and whatnot, but there you have it. And, you know, obviously it shows you your battery percentage and all that. That's another thing with this phone. I'm not really sure if it's just because it's, you know, disconnected and looking for service, but I think even in airplane mode, this thing just torches the battery. I mean, I can charge it, you know, the same day and it'll be dead within like 8 hours of just sitting doing nothing. So kind of weird, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I really wanted to show you about this Motorola RAZR. Like I said, I'm not actually going to be using this or anything. It's just something to keep in my collection along with my like red hydrogen and other quirky phones. So there you have it, guys. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.